Hello everyone, my name is Manaz, and today's video is a good sequence for athletes and specifically for hockey players. I have taught many hockey players in the past, and wrist and groin injuries tend to be quite frequently problem areas. So this is a short sequence to help you with that. I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to begin on the floor, and I do recommend having some blocks. If you don't have it, you can use anything, a little lift, or you can just use the floor. We're going to start out with some heel lifts. Now, heel lifts are really great for strength and mobility in the wrists and, of course, forearms. So I would start in a seated position or even tabletop position. You're going to spread your fingers wide, and you're just going to lift your heels off the floor and lower them down. So make sure you're breathing as you do this. You're not holding the breath. So I would like to inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. So try to do this at least maybe 8 times, and you're going to feel it through the forearms. And then from here, once you've completed that, turn the hands outward and do the same thing. Lifting the heel, lowering. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So try to do that at least 8 to 10 times. Okay, not forcefully, be gentle. You can bring the hips back more so it's not as much pressure on the wrists. And then from there, turn the hands forward and walk your hands forward, keeping the hips up in the air, and just try to relax your forehead. This is puppy pose. It's gonna kind of release the shoulders, the upper back. It feels really good. Resting the forehead on the ground or even a block and holding for at least 5 breaths, breathing in and breathing out by the nose. And then walking the hands back, and we're going to do a nice shoulder stretch. So I'm starting with my left hand just so I'm facing you. You're going to do both sides. So taking that left arm, bringing it underneath the right, and just simply resting the shoulder, the head on the ground, and just let the weight of the body sink down. So you're going to feel a nice stretch, maybe the shoulders, side body, the lower back. Again, try to hold for at least 5 breaths, breathing in and breathing out. And then you switch back to tabletop, bring the other arm under, rest the shoulder down, head down, and again, stay for 5 breaths. Good. And then you're going to come back into your tabletop and just get in some cat-cows. So hands, shoulder width distance, knees, hip width distance. Inhaling, lifting the head and the hips, so you're arching the back. Exhaling, rounding in, pulling the belly in. So this is cat pose, so engage the abs. Try to do this at least 5 times. Inhaling, this is excellent for spine, shoulder, and hip mobility. Exhaling here. Try to do at least 2 more. So remember, 5 total. And moving slowly and really feeling the stretch throughout the body. Good. And 1 more. Tighten the belly here. And then come back to neutral. So this is where the blocks are helpful. Just position 1 on either side. You can put the hands on the floor of the blocks. Half splits. You're going to step your right foot forward and then take that right heel forward, flexing the foot, eventually straightening the leg out. And if it feels good for you, you can bring your forehead down towards the knee. So feeling that whole hamstring outer hip stretch even into the back, breathing in, breathing out. So you should feel it in the inner thighs as well. And then slowly you're going to come out and you switch sides. So bring the right knee back, bring the left foot forward, slide the heel forward. Again, you can just hold here, feeling that stretch. You can even engage the quad to release the hamstring more. And again, if it feels good, try to bring the forehead towards the knee. Pull the belly in, breathe. Good. And then you're going to lift the head up, bring the left knee back, moving into pigeon, hands and knees. You're going to bring your right knee forward behind the thumb, flex the right foot, and bring the lower leg towards the midline. You can always put a block underneath your hip. And ideally, you're trying to bring the hips to the ground without hurting this right knee. So flex the right foot, take the left leg back. You can stay upright, or you can bring your body to the ground and hold this again for 5 breaths. That is minimum. Maybe you want to hold it longer, but feeling the stretch to the outer hip, feeling the stretch maybe to the inner thighs, breathing in, breathing out. So keep in mind, the more hip mobility you can maintain, the less pressure you're going to have in the knees and the lower back. And then we switch sides. So you can pull that left knee in, right knee comes back, left knee forward, position the lower leg, flex the foot, slide that right leg back. And again, you can stay upright, make sure there's no pain in the left knee. You can position a block under your left hip. You want this right hip down, and you can stay upright, feeling that outer hip stretch, inner thigh stretch even, or bring the body down. Breathing in and breathing out. So of course, I'm recommending 5 breaths. Be consistent. Maybe you want to do this sequence, holding each position for 10 breaths and really allowing the body to relax into the stretch. Good. And then when you're ready to come up carefully. This is a really important one, is the straddle. So go ahead, and I'm going to show you the side view because it is important that when you do a straddle, you're not going to the max. You just go to where you feel a little bit of a stretch, flex your feet, and come forward through the hips, all right? Not through the upper body. Come forward through the hips so you feel the stretch to the inner thighs. Make sure your feet are aimed the same direction as the torso is going. So if the feet are aimed back, you're going to put too much strain in the knees. And then just hold this. Now this straddle, I would say, because it really goes right to the groin and the inner thigh area, hold it a little bit longer. Hold and breathe. Again, try to lengthen the spine. Try not to round. Even if you're up here, try to lengthen the spine. Try not to round. And then we're going to move into our last pose, which is wonderful, feel-good pose, your spine twist. Foot could be inside or outside the knee. Right arm behind you. Place that opposite elbow outside the opposite knee. So left elbow outside the right knee, lengthen, and then twist your spine. Don't twist from your head. Bring the rib cage, shoulder, then the head back. You hold, you breathe in, you breathe out, and you make sure to do the same on the other side. So make sure opposite elbow, opposite knee, lengthen, belly in, rib cage back, shoulder, and then the head. You hold, you breathe. Good. And then gently you untwist. I always recommend laying down for a little bit or doing a little meditation at the end of your practice. I do hope that this video was helpful for all of you, but especially the hockey players and athletes and even tennis players. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Namaste.